Welcome to the Law, Your Money, and You. I'm Roberta Saphire, an attorney in New England.
And I'm Camille Barron, a financial coordinator, also in New England. And we have some guests. I think today is their first time appearing on our show, but it's a topic that is very, very important to many people. It's not the kind of topic that a lot of people really like to think about, but it's an absolute necessity.
Well, they like to think about it if they're eligible to collect money on their
Right.
claim.
Yes.
But we are really so excited today to have with us Peter Mulrey and Jeanette Brady of Morrill Insurance Company. They're set in Norwood, but they're all over.
True.
But you're situated in Massachusetts, basically, right?
Basically Massachusetts.
Well, let's go over to them, because for the past 8 years we've been trying to get them on the show, and they have been too nervous.
That's really a good way to make us relax. Thank you.
But I was talking to Peter about my insurance needs there, and I said, Peter, this is what it's like on the show. We just talk, we kid. Look at the information you have. I mean, they're so knowledgeable, and this show is going to be so great, and I just hope Jeanette is half as knowledgeable as Peter, or are you going to make him look bad?
Maybe even more knowledgeable.
I
Maybe
always
more,
make him
most
look
definitely.
good, don't worry.
So let's start with Peter. Peter, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, the main agency is located in Norwood, Mass.
From 1879?
From 1879 on.
And you've been there all that time?
Yes. Yeah. Well, some days I feel like it. So that's one of our offices. We have personal lines offices in Sudbury, Millis, and Rentham. All the commercial business is handled out of the Norwood office.
So you know what you're talking about, is what we
Yes.
Yeah,
say.
our customers seem to think so, so I guess that's
Give
what
us
matters.
an example of the difference between personal lines, you tell us, and then commercial lines, because she can tell us what that is.
Sure.
And then
Yeah, would you like to
we'll ask these
explain the difference
questions.
between
What
personal
about
and
this? What
commercial
about
lines?
that?
Well,
okay?
it's a big difference. Commercial lines is business for, insurance for businesses, whether they be small business or huge businesses, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, or you're someone who's starting their own flower salon, or someone who, it's all ranges. And commercial insurance is a lot more complex than personal lines, because the needs of our commercial lines customers range from, there's a big range of it, and it's up to us to know what the needs are.
Aren't
And what
some
their
of them the
needs.
same, like snow and ice, but workman's comp is commercial, right?
Right.
But the snow and ice, what are similar? What are some of the similar between the homeowners and commercial businesses?
Well, you're dealing with structures, you're dealing with buildings. Buildings need to be valued from a property standpoint. You can have $1 million valuation on a commercial building. You can have $1 million valuation on a home. They're subject to the same perils, flood, earthquake, fire, collapse.
Zombie apocalypse? What is it? What's that word?
Zombie apocalypse,
Yeah,
yes.
you cover that?
But with commercial lines, you have to not only know about what the building is made of, but you also have to know about what the occupancy is.
Yes.
True.
And that changes the class of risk.
Sure.
And we have to be on top of things where that is concerned. Because the main thing about insurance is why are you buying insurance? Because you want to have coverage if there's a claim. And if you're not adequately insured or correctly insured, nobody wants to get a claim that says we're not paying it.
And just for the audience that is watching us, we're talking about essentially two different types of claims. We're talking about claims that there's been some sort of damage to the premises, whether that be the structure or the contents. And then there's also the liability claims. And of
Liability.
course, commercial lines exposures have much more to lose when it comes to the liability.
Right.
And the liability, of course, is if something happens and you're found to have been negligent and contributed in some way to that happening.
That's
and of
right.
course, in personal lines, we have a parallel with someone coming to the house and tripping on the front steps because they weren't properly maintained, or somebody driving and causing an
Right.
accident.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but isn't it true too, just because somebody gets hurt, that doesn't mean the other people are liable?
Well, this is, Massachusetts is kind of favors the injured party.
Oh, really?
So, and the insurance companies are, I will say, at a disadvantage here, in that if something goes to court, someone is injured badly. You mentioned homeowner claims. The homeowner claims are getting more severe in personal lines as a result of dog bites are a huge item, trampolines, sport utility type vehicles, snowmobiles, all of that. These people all have these things.
Yeah.
And they, they've all these ATVs type vehicles. They go faster and faster all the time. So some of those claims are pretty catastrophic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can be in line almost with commercial claims
Yeah.
from a severity standpoint.
Really?
Yes. So the insurance companies are paying out, I will say, probably almost as much in homeowner claims
Wow.
and even
Boy.
automobile claims as well for the same reasons as they are with
We had
commercial.
somebody asked us a question, and if we probably didn't get all the facts. You probably have that where you don't get all the facts. But there was some type of consignment thing, and they were a volunteer, and they slipped on a hanger, and they're wondering if the building or the person who ran the thing had workman's comp. Do you get into workman's comp?
Oh, yes.
What's unusual about that?
Well, sometimes it's difficult to ascertain whether an individual is an employee or not. And just because they may not get paid compensation, in the case, Roberta, of an employee who tripped on a hanger, helping out at a retail store maybe, there have been cases where that particular individual has been considered an employee, not
Right.
compensated cash-wise, but they're an employee, and they've been able to collect under workers' comp and get paid. So I guess the lesson in that is that if you own a business, regardless of whether you have employees, but you construe to be employees or not, they should all have workers' comp.
And it seems like, especially in the commercial lines, it's much more complex than a simple claim. Even in personal lines, there's usually, or oftentimes, there's more than one insurance policy, because maybe if somebody slips at your house, they might have health insurance, and they might be able to get health insurance payment, or they might decide to put in a claim.
That's right.
And it may be both.
It may be both, but as far as they, to use your example, Camille, insurance companies are always looking to recover from other parties. So if the homeowner insurance company is involved, and health insurance is also involved, the health insurance is going to pass it over to the
Yes.
negligent party, and probably the homeowner company is going to end up paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there ever a situation where, say we had when somebody went through a fence and did damage to other cars, and so now the company that was
I've
carrying
heard, do you know somebody that happened to somebody, Roberta?
Yeah. But anyway, so say they damaged property on 3 different properties, mine, yours, hers, and they keep getting claims. Is there a point where they say, gee, we don't have any more money to pay out? If the limits were reached, what happens then? Or do they have to keep paying?
There is.
There's a limit.
There's a limit to their patience, is what it is. There's no limit as far as money is concerned. So if you with the average homeowner insurance company or dwelling fire insurance company, if they if they're taking care of 3 or 4 claims during the course of 3 years, for example, probably in the 4th year what's going to happen is they're going to send you a non-renewal, and they're going to want to get off the policy.
Oh yeah, then people say to us, oh, I don't want to put a claim in because my insurance company will cancel me.
That's true.
Is it really?
Insurance companies
Even
have
if
fear
it's
of
not
God in
their
you.
fault?
Even if it's not their fault. If it's weather related and you really have nothing to do with it, obviously, weight of, or ice and snow, snow melt, ice dams, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they take a little more sympathetic view.
Yeah.
But if they determine that you yourself are negligent and that's the reason for the claim, they're not going to put up with that for too long.
Well, they look at severity and frequency for claims. And if somebody has a claim every year, if they have one big claim like 2 winters ago, 2 or 3 winters ago, we had the really bad ice dams, the snowstorm. A lot of the condos that we handle were terrible damage, roof problems. So many of the unit owners were putting in many claims.
Yeah.
So if that was a catastrophic event, but if it keeps happening every year and the property has not been fixed, and there's another claim the next year, now that's when they will be canceled or non-renewed.
Yeah, because that gets into the individuals who own the property, the nature of
Right.
of
They
their,
look at the
yeah,
severity or the frequency.
Well, we're good clients because we do everything they say. It's interesting, though. That's probably why the insurance company sends out inspectors.
Oh,
Do they
yeah.
do that
That's
just
exactly why.
for
Right.
commercial or for homeowners?
For
Oh, they-
homeowners
both.
as well.
Really?
Right. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
One of the
Pretty
thing-
rigorous, the inspection
I mean,
process.
one of the things, and this probably be something that our viewers probably already know, but maybe you could explain in the homeowners how the insurance to value replacement cost provisions work.
Sure. The agreement with the insurance
That's a
company, as
good
far as
question.
as far as homeowners is concerned, is that you insure to 100% of value. Now, that being said, they give you a 20% buffer, so they will accept up to 80% of value.
And value isn't necessarily market value, right?
No, it's
Some people
replacement
think
value,
it's
right.
what it would cost
Oh.
to replace or repair to bring it up to
That's
what
exactly
it was before.
right. Exactly.
And insurance doesn't cover land either. So when you're buying a property, you're paying for the land, but the insurance does not cover the land.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, in simple terms, say somebody buys a house for $500,000.
Right.
What should they have? So this you're talking 80%. That's if the place burns down.
It could
What
be
they would
it
get?
could be anything. It could be
Yeah, it could
no
be
matter what
anything, yeah.
happens.
Oh, okay. Well, give us an example.
Roof collapse due to weight of ice
Oh,
and
yeah.
snow, or
Oh, yeah,
anything
the
like
ice
that.
and snow. Well, isn't the homeowner supposed to get rid of that ice and snow? Would the insurance company say, well, you contributed to it because you let the ice and snow
I
stay?
mean,
Well, that's a good question, Roberta, and you would think that would be the case.
right.
However,
No?
negligence on the part of the homeowner, I mean, like in the year 2015, you'd drive around and you see some roofs with, 8 or 10 feet of snow on the roof and say, how long can this persist? How long can this poor house hold up
No, I know.
with all this weight?
That's why they were selling roof rakes.
Exactly.
That's right. The
They
stores
were-
were running out.
Yeah, they were
They're
running
running
out
out,
of
exactly.
roof rakes.
But under the circumstances, if you don't take the responsibility and remove the snow from your roof and the roof collapses, the insurance company is still going to pay. So
But don't you have to keep up with the current laws? Like a few years ago, there was a change in the snow and ice law that you had to...
as far as trip and falls are concerned,
Yeah, the trip and falls. Yeah, that's good. See,
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch you and I can't.
well, you're an attorney, I know, so I'm onto your game.
We must have, do you have an attorney in your office?
An attorney?
Yeah, don't you have to say advise, or is that for the, you're an age? What is the difference
We don't
between
give-
an agency and the company? People should know that too.
Well, agency is the real sales
subject.
arm of the company. So we sell on behalf of the insurance company. Claims come in, we send them to the insurance company to be paid. So we don't pay claims, we don't adjust claims.
Now, do they
but
take
we're
out of your commission
educators.
if they have to pay a claim? They'll say, oh, we got to
We-
pay this, you wrote it.
But we
You
get
have to
what's
pay.
called profit sharing in addition
Oh.
to commission. So if we have a especially good year and we have enough volume with a certain insurance company, they do pay us a certain percentage of their profit.
Oh, that's good.
And of course, you represent more than one insurance company. You're an
We rep-
independent.
Several. We're
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
yeah.
So go
Probably
back to
15.
the snow and ice now. So what
Trip and f-
happens
you-
to...
you mean on the
yes,
ground?
Yeah, the trip and fall.
Well, the way I understand it in Massachusetts is if you don't disturb the snow, if the snow sits in your driveway, for example, and someone is brave enough to walk up your driveway, they trip and fall, it's on them. If you disturb the snow, if you shovel the driveway, once again, if you're responsible and you go up and shovel the driveway,
Oh, yeah.
and it snows 3 or 4 more inches, someone enters the driveway and they trip and fall.
But
So-
didn't it change that you have a duty now to make sure that even if you don't, that you have to do something? Did they change that? Or is it just for
Did they? Yeah,
commercial?
I don't know. That's kind of
I'm not sure.
outside
I'm
of
not
our
sure
Oh,
about
yeah.
that one.
of the realm.
They might have.
You would think
what we
that
do.
you would think that the property owner should be removing the snow, right? If you have that much snow.
Right.
So
You
if
would think so.
somebody slips and you didn't do anything to the driveway,
Yeah, I
you're not
think they might have
responsible.
changed.
But
Well,
if you if you do something and then they slip, you
Well,
are.
speaking
That's
of,
the way I understand
speaking
it,
of
right?
snow,
But
what if you got
Roberta
the kids
believes
next
that's
door?
changed.
Yeah, I think it changed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether what happened with it, but I think it changed. But say you got the kid next door. He thinks it's funny if somebody's approaching your door, or even his own door, you know, when he throws some stuff up to make the snow come and hurts the people and they fall down and everything. Now, it's not your fault, it's the kid next door. How is that? Who's responsible? I mean, what does
I'm
the
not
insurance
sure.
company do with something like that? I'm just curious.
Well, let's say the homeowner
Oh, and the
whose snow
homeowner?
fell on the head of the poor individual.
So
If
even though,
if
even
they're
though
sued,
it's not,
they would be brought into it. Now, as far as the kid next door is concerned, if he's a minor, I don't know how
oh,
that
isn't
would work.
That's interesting. You must have those where it's not my fault. I didn't have anything to do with it. It was the kid next door. Maybe it
Right.
should be on their homeowners.
It
Or
could
would
be,
that be
right.
on their homeowners?
Well, I'm not.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is
huh?
a good question.
Have you had
Yeah.
any cases, situations like that where you're not sure?
Well, a big one are trees. So you
Oh
you
yeah,
have a
the
big,
trees.
you have a big oak tree in your in your backyard.
One of
That
our
was that
favorites, right?
second.
That's
That
one
was
of
that
your
second
trees.
show.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you know that if your tree, your dead limb falls on the neighbor's house, damages the house, you're probably not responsible.
Unless you knew it was dead.
Unless you knew it was dead. Unless they came over you and warned you, geez, that overhanging limb seems like it's going to be a problem. It should be removed.
We used to say there's the practical approach and the legal approach. The practical approach is to do something
Right.
with your neighbor. Now, do the insurance companies ever do that? A practical approach?
They inspect and they give out recommendations to the property, and they'll issue recommendations both in personal and commercial lines and say, we are outlining these bullet points that we want you to fix because this might lead to a loss. And we educate our clients to say this isn't anything bad, this is good. They want you to maybe do something with that tree because it might cause a potential loss. So I hope that answered your question.
Oh yeah, it does. No, we
Right.
had a situation where a tree fell on the car and did damage.
Right.
But it was in one of those snowstorms with a wind, so it's an act of God. I don't think anybody was responsible.
Right.
So we just
Exactly.
split the deductible with him.
Right.
So we're heroes.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
repeating some questions that people have asked
Good.
along the way. As you know, I've been in that business too.
Right.
Tell us about flood, okay? Because a lot of people find out the hard way that if we've had a very bad storm and their basement has flooding, that it's not covered sometimes. Can you explain about that and what people
Sure.
should or should not be doing?
Well, I learned the hard way myself because I had a big flood in my house. And I didn't have flood coverage because I'm not in a flood elevation plane. And actually, Peter would really be good because he explained it to me about how it seeps from the foundation. So you can probably answer that.
Right. That's how you make a distinction between what is covered by flood and what is covered by a property policy, for example. So if rain, I'll use rain as an example, or snow melt or whatever it happens to be. If it falls from the sky, seeps through your roof or through the siding and damages your house, that would not be considered flood. Even if it runs into the basement, that would not be flood either. And any ensuing damage would probably be covered by the homeowner. If the rain, for example, hits the ground, pools and puddles and causes a general inundation, they call it, of a particular area, that's where flood insurance would come in and respond to that particular situation.
And if you don't have flood insurance, then you're not covered?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
If it comes up through the ground and into the foundation, which mine did,
Right.
and destroyed my whole finished basement,
Okay.
and no flood insurance.
And of course, even
you're
if you
kidding.
have
Oh,
flood
yeah.
insurance, there are certain things that are limited or even not covered, right? Isn't it true that the contents on the basement level are not?
Contents on the basement level are not covered if all four sides are underground.
Very interesting.
If you have one side that's, say you have a walkout basement,
Yeah.
you walk through a door out to the backyard
Without steps though, right?
without steps.
You have to be able to walk
Same
straight
level,
out.
I believe,
Yeah.
is the way it reads.
Yeah.
you perhaps would have coverage for your contents in the basement, because it would be considered a floor as opposed to just a general basement.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good, you've got to be kidding. So what do you suggest to people? They can't do anything then?
No, they can't do anything, and if it's a 100-year flood situation, or these days, I mean, we've had a couple of 100-year floods lately, so
What's a 100-year flood? It's like
your
it just-
particular area floods every 100 years.
Would you
But-
be able to have gotten flood insurance even though you're not in a flood zone?
Oh, definitely. We didn't think we needed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Some
And flood-
places are required to,
And
though,
flood
in certain
insurance
areas,
is
right?
so
By the bank, it would be
expensive.
required
What
to.
town
Right.
do you live in?
North Attleboro, yeah.
Oh.
And flood insurance is very expensive.
Oh, yes.
Because of the claims that have come in the past 10 years.
Right.
That's it. Do you have any? We're almost to. You've got to be kidding, believe it or not. But
Really?
Do you have? Yeah,
Wow.
I used to say
You're
you've got
right.
to be
We've
kidding.
got
to be kidding.
Yeah. Do you have any unusual happenings from a business, like a small business, or this that things aren't covered? Do you cover golf courses like?
We do. We have
Those-
3 or 4. We have an individual in the office, as a matter of fact, who specializes in golf courses.
Really, that's a specialty.
It's a specialty for him. Yes.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he has, as I said, 3, 4, 5 of those, and he has most recent is in the Bahamas.
In
As part of a golf
Bahamas?
course community. Yeah. So we're dealing with money exchanges and Bahamian money and all that stuff. And
Are there less golf courses now in the anywhere than there used to be?
I think there's probably more, but they're
More, yeah.
less profitable as a result of
Oh.
small universe of golfers versus expansion of golf courses themselves.
Yeah,
So they've reached, I think, a saturation point
for sure.
where a lot of them are on the verge of collapsing
Really?
Oh,
financially as a result of
really?
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Do you write? I know you have your offices, but do you write like out of the state, out of the country? Do you
Out
do
of the
that?
state.
Not out of the
Oh.
country, no.
No, out of the we have a few. We have business in Texas. We have business in the New
Especially
England
workers'
states,
comp.
obviously.
Somebody
comp.
the other day said, we had an accountant on. Where is the best place to live? What was it? is it
Costa
Domin-
Rica.
Oh, Costa Rica.
Really?
Do you write there?
No.
No.
So what this
The crime rate is pretty high, though, in Costa Rica.
golf expert, he must go in and say, what do they have to have a fence so high to not hit people?
It's a lot of
What if
guidelines.
what if the people hit and it goes in the other direction?
That's a problem. You
Liability.
better duck quickly.
Liability
Yeah.
You better
insurance.
duck quickly.
That's about it. Make sure you have good health insurance.
I want to tell. We told this many years ago that you missed out on with when you said the dog bites and the tree falls.
Right.
So there's one where the salesman's coming to somebody's house, insurance salesman. Peter's coming to your house.
Don't let him in. That's the solution to that.
The dog's barking, and the kid's holding the dog back. You know what's coming. Do you know what's coming? The kid's holding the dog back, and Peter says, I shouldn't say Peter, because Peter's a nice guy, really.
Oh, cool.
But, yeah. But Peter
Most of the time.
Does your dog bite? And the kid says, no, my dog doesn't bite. So Peter says, oh, okay, and he pats him, and the dog bites. He said, Jeanette's with him. She says, I thought you said your dog didn't bite. And the kid says, yeah, my dog doesn't, but this isn't my dog.
Good.
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, what's that?
It's your insurance, though, that's going to pay.
That's so
Oh, it's
funny.
even though it's not his dog,
Yeah, the homeowner's going to pay.
the homeowner's
Yeah.
gonna
Maybe we should
pay.
get the dog to pay.
Really?
That would be
Oh,
good.
there are suits where they suit the dog. There are suits where I remember years ago where they actually sue the dog
Really?
because the dog was the trustee.
Oh,
under,
yeah,
under
I've
some
heard of that,
rich
yeah.
lady's funds. You heard where they do that. Did you do life insurance policies
No,
too?
no,
Oh.
no.
No.
But
Was
so-
it Leona Helmsley who left
That's who I
after
was
her
thinking
dog?
of.
Right.
She left
Yeah.
assets to her dog.
She did.
Well, I stayed
Yeah,
at
all of
the
them, I think.
Helmsley Sandcastle down in Florida when it was owned by the dog. I stayed down there.
Oh, so it was owned by the
dog
dog.
It was owned by the dog.
People thought it's crazy. Yeah, so they
No,
sue
it's
the
owned
dog.
by the dog, yeah.
They name the dog and they sue him. It sounds crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
Do you know also, which you're going to say you got to be kidding, but besides dogs as pets, we did a thing on that. Chickens are pets. There's 9 different colored diapers for chickens that this firm had.
Wow.
What else?
Really?
And
What about the
pigs.
crocodile in Rhode Island? There was a crocodile. A crocodile
Oh, yeah,
got
pet
loose, and
crocodile.
it went on somebody's deck, and of course that scared the bejesus out of the people, right?
In Rhode
Poli-
Island, no less.
Yeah. and
Wow.
So the police came and they locked up the crocodile, and the owner was completely heartbroken by this, and he publicly said, "Please don't, please let me have my crocodile back. She's my pet. She sleeps under my bed at night, and I just can't live without her."
Oh, wow.
It was very
Wow.
bad.
Wow.
Going to help them if they have a grandchild coming over.
I know.
The grandchild will be under the bed.
Speaking of strange pets,
That's
I
it.
was playing golf at Highfields Country Club in a tournament in Grafton.
Oh.
It's a nice golf course community, beautiful homes aligning the different fairways. So
Yeah.
I was ready to hit my
You
shot on the
got to
first
be
hole.
kidding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And a woman came out of there was a ramp up to on the front stairs. So a woman opened the door and just happened to glance over. She had a leash on it, on this animal, and I thought it was a dog. Well, on second look, it was a pig, right? So the woman says, hold on, I want
That's
to
a
tell you
big
about my pig.
kidding.
She's talking to me, right? I'm thinking to myself, I don't have time to learn about your pig. I said, I've got to hit my golf shot. There's people behind me, right? So she comes over, and just to be polite, I said, oh, that's a very nice pig you have. But excuse me, I have to, I'm playing golf here, and I'm tying up the entire golf course. I said, thank you very much.
Does it
And I
go
went on
through
my
your
way.
mind when you meet these people what the insurance is on it, what the insurance liability?
Oh, all the time. I think
Yeah,
of that
isn't
all.
that-
I'm such an insurance
I do that
geek.
with
I
the
think of
law.
it all
Yeah,
the
I know,
time.
Isn't that
I'm thinking, how can you
something?
have a
Right.
pig in your house? That didn't make sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Supposed to be very intelligent animals.
Yeah.
There was one recently where the woman got hit with cruelty to animals because she had the pig too fat. And they said because the pig
Wow.
got
Really?
so fat, it went into depression. I said, no, it's serious. And I
gotta be kidding.
No, it's serious. Yeah.
By the way, I
Oh, my
don't know
goodness.
recently if we've explained the You've Got to Be Kidding bag. YGTBK. You've got to be
Right.
kidding. And that is something that it's got to be one of a kind. That's all I can say.
What, the bag?
Yeah.
Oh, you-
The
oh,
bag,
story.
right.
Well, that too. That is true too.
Yeah,
The story is-
yeah, this one's
Looks like it's
had
been
it
around the
little
block a few
bit.
times.
Not made very well. A gift bag. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have some left.
Yeah.
But it's a rarity.
That's
But-
pretty good.
And we're also doing police officers are our friends. We have an activity coloring book.
That is fantastic,
And
Roberta. You've given me a
especially
copy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? That's
Yes.
great.
Okay, and we're in
yeah.
24 towns now. We're in Boston too, and they do show, so you'll be notified. And we archive.org and YouTube and all that. See, and it went by so fast.
You know
didn't
what?
it?
No kidding.
I'm
This
kind of
is
mad
great.
at him right now. You know why?
You should have been.
Another
Because
one, Jeanette.
what
Another one mad at me.
these probably are the two of the most delightful guests we've had in
Yeah.
a long, long time. And
Yeah.
I'm mad at them because they didn't come sooner.
Yeah. Well, we got people
We'll
who
come
say
again.
they're coming. Yeah, yay.
That's
Okay,
great.
so that's a wrap.
This is
That's
fun.
it.
This
And
was great
Camille-
fun.
Camille wrapped it up.
Yeah,
Because-
so thank you
That's
very
great.
much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
It's
the
really
invitation.
fun. It's
Yeah.
we've learned a lot,
It's been
and I'm
great.
sure
Yeah.
our
It's
viewers
great.
have. So I want to just say
That's
You
great.
don't leave till she wraps.
to our viewers, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions about your insurance, whether it be home or automobile or business, please let us know and we'll pass that information or your question along to the lovely people at Morrill Insurance. I'd like to say that if you please will get in touch with us if you have any ideas or any requests for future topics, because that's where we get our ideas from you, our viewers. So with that, thank you very much for watching. And remember, this is your show, The Law, Your Money, and you.
You.